Facebook, family, and friends. You know what this is, Saturday Morning Formers. We're going to keep it light and short this morning. We're not doing a full length. We get ready here for the New Year's. As always, we'll introduce my best friend, the man with the huge head, Samuel. Good morning, bro.
Good morning, my brother.
What's happening?
Oh God, I'm in the thick of it. I got a little ton of shit going on. Training my new puppy, getting ready for Julie to come back today.
Nice.
And of course, it's the new year, man.
It is. Tomorrow starts off the new year, 2023 already, man.
We're about to step into it, man. It's gonna be our second New Year's here, and so it's kind of one whole year of just new life, and that's kind of like what we're talking about, man. This new lifestyle I've created for myself, and the benefits that it comes with it. And even last night, one of my friends who works in the prison, he met this old G guy who remembers me from way back when, who he claims to be like one of your Heffa's brothers, like a
Right.
brother of his, but is in another clique, as a leader. And he's like, oh yeah, I remember old man. And
Yeah.
and I'm like, and then my brother, my guy Jeff always asks me, like, did you ever think you'd be here? And I'm like, it's weird, man, because no matter what I've put my mind to, I've always reached the top. I've always like leveled up to. I've never just been happy being a follower, so to speak. I'm always putting myself in situations to not so much as leadership, but to take responsibility.
Yeah.
Which ultimately leads to leadership, because when you're so consistent with that, that's what people are after, right? So anyway, he was like, did you ever think you would be here? And I'm like, at a certain point in my life, no. But after a certain point in my life, yes. Because I clearly understood, and this is the topic kind of, I clearly understood the importance of having a mindset of going after something until I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And that meant, that's a lifestyle. Because you do that in everything, right? Like if you set a goal, you set a target, and then like it's whatever it takes, the ups, the downs, the good parts, the hard parts, the parts that don't make any sense. And you've seen it even dealing with fucking haters for no fucking reason, or people that call you during your show when they know you're doing Formers.
Right.
And so it's like this whole, for me, it's less about a resolution, and it's more about deepening my intention with the goals I have set for myself and what I want to do. When I took that time off from my last job, I took a year off, right? And right around the 6-month mark, as I start thinking about what I'm going to do with my life, like, what am I got to get back in the game. I don't have enough money to not work forever. I can't retire yet. I've only been working. I've only been working 25 years. I haven't been working. I got a late start. I started working at 30. I got a really late start. So I started working at 30 years old. But I'm like, what am I going to do? And I said, I want to take this energy I have in this space, and I want to see if I can apply it in this space, which was completely different. Where I've been in nonprofit, private or public sector work, and I'm raising all this money for other causes, and I'm like, well, how do I take what I do here and put it over here? And so I said, I'm going to get into the corporate world. Now I have no experience in the corporate world, like as a job, right?
Yeah.
And my first job I land is at a senior level in corporate world, because the ideas that I'm bringing from one world are like fascinating in this new world, right? And they're like, we can apply that. This has practical use in so many places here. Help us do that. And I'm doing it. And dude, I'm telling you, I just did my first company presentation with one of my coworkers. And so they use this scoring system, and the scoring system goes from negative 100 to positive 100. So you have a 200-point scale in between zero, right? World class is 50. I scored a 60. right? As a group, me and my partner scored a 60, and then they talked specifically about those. Nobody knew what I inserted in there, right? Because it was just
Right.
behind the scenes, but they specifically were citing the lessons I brought to the table that were kind of pushed into this presentation. In the reviews, they were like, "That was amazing," like that, and and so I'm like, so when he says, like, "Did you ever imagine?" It's like, yeah, I imagined, but imagining that doesn't equal confidence. You know what I mean? Like a lot of us imagine a lot, but where we lose ourselves, in my opinion, just my humble opinion, is that we lack the confidence to see it through. And then in addition to the confidence, we lack the we don't want to suffer through it. So when it gets tough and scary and uncertain, we tend to want to play it safe and back out, right?
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, man, my wife, my beautiful, loving wife, was well enough to say, Sammy, don't jump at the first thing that comes your way. If
Yep.
it isn't a good now, so let me tell you what that means. She's basically saying, I know you're taking this huge risk. I know you're going to want to play it safe because you're out there in this deep water. You're out further than you've ever been before. And it's going to get scary. And you're going to want some security. And you're going to want to grab onto the first thing that comes your way. She's like, don't do it. Stay the course. Stick the course. And I stuck the course, dude. And let me tell you, it was almost a full year. I stuck the course. And I landed this wonderful opportunity in corporate world, doing what I have always done in the public sector, now doing it in the private sector. And I'll tell you about that to me is the spirit of what we do at the beginning of a new year. We have to set our intentions. It's less about a resolution. Resolutions are great, but this is more about a long-term view of what we're going to spend our effort doing in life. And it's not just one thing. It's a shift in a mindset. I think resolutions have to be about shifting mindsets, not losing weight. You don't just set out to lose weight. You don't just set out to save money. You have to change your whole mindset about how you're going to live in order to accomplish this.
It's not about quitting smoking. It's about living healthier. It's not about, absolutely, bro. I agree.
And
100%.
changing your whole mindset, right? About it.
Do you remember when I first started and you approached me about sharing FA, and my response was, I can't do that. My response was, no one's going to listen to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I was terrified. Hey, Tater, say hi, Uncle Sammy.
Hey, Papa. Good morning, mijo.
He said, good morning. You know, I didn't think that A, I was qualified to help anyone else, and B, that anyone would want to hear from me. And it just took a little nudge. You know what I mean? And I think it was Sandy and Heather Braun who solidified it for me. Heather Braun hugged me. And I don't know if you had told her or Sandy had told her or you had told Sandy and Heather, because they had both hugged me and they were like, I think you'd be great as a chair. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, get the hell out of here. But that really convinced me, wow, like these two people who have been doing this and have been in recovery and who are amazing really think I could do something. And it took that little step, right? And then I put it all in. Good morning from the Bahamas. I can't hear you, but I thank you both for all you do. Love you, Amy. Love you, Samantha. Love you, Aunt Maggie, Erica, Jess, Aunt Chris.
She just had to rub that in.
Yeah, she's in the Bahamas.
I can't hear you or see you, but I know this message will land there. Like, whatever, Amy.
Yeah, she can watch later. But yeah, that's what started it for me, right? That's what gave me it gave me the drive, or it reinforced the drive for me to push forward, right? And then I got to meet all these amazing people who were working in recovery. And, Amy, oh my God, Amy, like, You're right. When we had talked about quitting smoking, it wasn't about quitting smoking. It was about bettering my life, right? When we had talked about me shedding those shields that I wore, like a baby blanket, right? Like a security blanket. It wasn't about losing the bandana and the hat. It was losing the fear of letting people in, right? It was about losing the fear of joining society again because I couldn't. Like in the beginning, you remember, bro. You remember, like glasses, bandana, hat. Like I terrified anybody who came near me because I didn't want anyone to come close to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get it. Yeah, New Year's. It's so hard when people make a New Year's resolution and then it doesn't happen, and then they feel like they failed. They feel like they're not good enough. It just makes it worse. So I agree with you. Like I'm not doing any New Year resolutions, but I am definitely making commitments to better my life. Right? Like
It's just, in many ways, we want to do these things, but we don't realize how much the things we're already doing are a part of our identity, right? Like even the parts that we don't like there are parts of our identity that say I'm lazy, and there's parts of our identity that say I'm wonderful, right? So we always have this competing voice in our eyes, but we tend to stop with that kind of affirmation. No, Coda, you gotta lay down, buddy. So think about, a lot of us are setting goals, but we don't have discipline. We don't have the disciplines built around them, right? And so the mindset has to change to adopt the discipline. So we have to figure out, what do I have to change about what I'm doing in order to get to this goal, right? And I think we have to have affirmations paired with the discipline. We have to know what discipline comes with that affirmation. And so, in my opinion, are we're all here ready to serve, but are we serving ourselves too, right? What are we doing for ourselves? And I've always said this. You can help a lot of people reach their goals, but if you yourself aren't working towards your own goals, you're misleading.
Yeah.
Right? Because we have to model and demonstrate the discipline behind the idea of what we want to do, what we want to imagine doing.
TG Canlis is high. Hey, you know what Tater's resolution is for this year? To wear fucking clothes. God,
clothes. I already know it. Yeah,
dude, it's horrible. Ran up on me butt naked the other day, like just butt naked, and was like, "What's up, Dada?" Like, not you. Get the hell out of here.
Collars work amazing for training.
I don't know what to do with this boy. He's wild, man. He's so cool.
Let me tell you what it's like. So look, we're almost at time, but as we set these goals, let me tell you what we're driving on. Tell me what you want to drive on, if you had your choice. Do you want to drive on a dirt road or a paved road?
Always paved.
Right. But when we set our goals, when we set our intentions, we're typically traveling on these dirt roads because we don't have the discipline to
unmapped and uncharted. No, it's not even that just we don't have the discipline. It's not just that we don't have the discipline. Sometimes, bro, we've never been there. So we're treading, or we're breaking new grounds, and we have to build those roads. At least that's how I see it.
I'm gonna tell you though, no one that I know has ever been 100% a failure. We have tasted success throughout our lives in different ways, right? We know what it's like and we know what it takes. But I like where you're going with this, because what it really says is that I don't have the comfort of the experience that goes into what I'm doing, right? And that's what Julie was cautioning me about. She was like, you're looking for a safety net. Don't grab the first one. Not all safety nets are equal.
Yeah.
Right. And you got to be willing. I guess the thing I'm good at is like taking risks. Me and you've been taking risks our entire lives. But we're learning to take those risks towards those things that work for us. Me and Coda here were at a store called Dickie Bubs. It's like a farm and fleet, right? But it's called Dickie Bubs. I love it. It's a great store. Me and Coda were in there, and I'm sitting there talking with what must have been like an 80-year-old cancer survivor woman who was just talking to me. She saw Coda and decided to tell me her whole life story.
Oh,
I think the reason that happens is because I've changed the way I'm open to the world. You know, I would have never had that conversation with somebody like that 30 years ago. And that goes towards what we're saying right now. What does that have to do with this? The mindset in which we're walking in the world. I'm expansive. If we're going to put it very simply, I'm expanding. I'm looking to expand my world all the time, where a lot of us are looking to narrow it down because we have fear and trust issues. We're hiding, we're depressed. When you're feeling depressed, you're trying to contract. You're trying to make yourself as small as you can be so that you're hoping that the outside world misses you with their hits.
yeah.
But when you're happy and you're in love and you're feeling like you can, and even when you don't have a reason to be, I mean, we found these moments in prison,
Yep.
right? Where you could be at peace with the world, regardless of, the 100 years on your sentence, regardless of who's left you and abandoned you and how hungry you could still find peace. I found peace in the hole, at times. It's not your circumstance that determines your mindset, but a lot of us let our circumstances determine our mindset. Like me and you are still taking a lot of hits today, but our mindset remains positive.
Yeah.
Right? I'm showing up in service, and as such, exposing myself to a broader world. I think that's the way we got to walk into this new year, opening ourselves up. Look, I don't care. I'm going to say this directly to our listeners, man. I don't care what you're going through. I do care what you're going through, but I'm saying we can't let what we're going through determine the mindset we're going to have.
Yep.
If you say the world is terrible, you're right. But if you say the world is great, you're right. And the only thing that's different in those perspectives is your perspective.
Yep.
Chrissy says, I feel age plays a factor. Yes and no. I mean, I've run into some very wise children, very wise young teenagers, very wise young adults. I think it's really about, in my opinion, the personalities we adopt. If we're open, if we have a personality that says I'm open to the world and all its experiences, or I'm close to the world and all its experiences, and guess what?
Hi, Uncle Sammy.
Oh my God, where'd you come from? I didn't even see you standing there. Hi, sweetie. Happy New Year.
He see you there. He said, "Happy New Year, baby."
Happy New Year's.
Here, let me take my headphones off.
Isn't
Lizzie was sleeping, and I don't have an office anymore. I work out of my bedroom now, so I put headphones on to help with the noise. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
So Danica couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay. Good morning, Mama. I love you, sweetie.
Morning, love you.
Now shove her out.
On the camera.
Beat it, kid. The brush is.
Anyway, I think what we're saying is, if you're here and you're in recovery, the intention always has to be, no matter what step you're working, no matter what issue is, man, is to have a positive intention about yourself and the lifestyle that you want to create for yourself. I think if we focus on a lifestyle versus on a particular goal, everything else will fall into place.
Yeah.
Healthy lifestyles. You said it. I want to be healthy. That intention right there. Now and here's my question, Monte. Like, it's a rhetorical question. What is the why behind wanting to be healthy, right? Like, that's what we have to figure out. That's the spirituality connection piece in FA. What connects you to this place and why? If it's your children, your freedom, your religious relationship, whatever it may be, what is your why? And that's what, that's me, and you have said it on this show a million times. My why I'm not violent in some occasions when I prefer to be, my why when I'm cooperative, when I want and desire to disrupt.
Right.
My why is what keeps me disciplined. because I'm not willing to exchange my why. And when I'm at a crossroad, I'm trying to figure out, is it worth it? And I have never, I don't even ask the question because I already know the answer. And I get to the point where it's like, it's just not worth it. It's not worth giving in or giving up, you know? And so we stick to this path, and that's the discipline I'm talking about. And it didn't come overnight, man. It was a heavy lift in the beginning, a very heavy lift.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's always easier to fall back to what's comfortable and what's easy and what's simple. Uncle G,
In the moment, it's easy in the moment.
In the moment, right? But the consequences afterwards are
woo.
Yeah.
How many times have we fucked up in the very last moment and only to realize the one thing we were holding out for was right there, and we just missed it by a second.
Just a second, right?
You know, it's like, God damn. You know, if I'd have just hung out one more time, like if I'd have just held off, man.
It's like hitting the lottery. If I'd bought that ticket.
And it's like, oh, you almost had it.
All right. Well, it's 10 o'clock, you guys. Sammy's got an appointment to go to. I got a bunch of work to do this morning.
I got to get this bad boy to the vet.
Oh, yeah. We just wanted to let you guys know, Happy New Year. We thank you for another year of support. Been 3 years. We've been doing this off and on for 3 years now on here. Next week, I'm hoping to have something special for you on Saturday morning. We're talking to Lucas and Catherine about coming on and talking more about I Hate You, But It's Killing Me. Remember, you guys, go check out their link. Visit them on Facebook, TikTok. I have to take a boat to the island. LOL. I love it, Amy. Hell yeah. They're doing some amazing work. I don't know if you know who Lucas is. He's been in, man, I just looked up his IMDb. Like, he's been in a ton of movies. He's been most recently that I was checking, he was on Grey's Anatomy for you young ladies, season 2. His wife, Catherine, an amazing lady. She was Lilith on Supernatural. These people have taken their lives and dedicated it to helping others for no other reason besides they believe in it. So hopefully we'll have the two of them on here next week. I got to talk to them a little bit more. Sammy introduced me to them, and we've hit it off. I mean, they're great people. I had an amazing conversation with her and him 2 weeks ago that left all three of us in tears, talking about loss and recovery and dealing with our losses while in recovery. So,
you know what we should do? We should talk to them about getting some of the stars in the movie on, because they're the ones who have, in my opinion, they're the ones who relate, you know, to what we're going through the most.
Are you talking about the movie that you're involved in, that you're into?
Yes. I'm talking about the other folks. I'm othering right now. I'm talking about the others in the film who have.
Don't be too humble. You're a part of that film too, and your story is very important and very helpful to me to this day. And I know your story, right? But watching you talk about it is moving. All of them are moving, dude. I catch them a lot on TikTok, and sometimes they're heartbreaking, and other times they leave me just feeling like there's a lot of hope left.
That's right.
So we say,
I don't know who Heather Dyer is, but she just encouraged Taylor not to wear clothes. You might want to block her.
That's his TT. That's his Tia.
Block her.
Tony, I love you, bro. Happy New Year, you guys. We will talk to you next week.
Tony, everyone.
Right.
All right, man. One thing. Right, I love you, brother.
Another year down. We love you guys.
2023, y'all.
All right, brother.
Be sober.